Hey, what's going on? Bill DeWeese here, and I want to share with you today the 5 components of a dynamic voiceover career. And a lot of people move in the direction of voiceover and they get one or two, maybe even three of these things right, or at least kind of get the plate spinning, but are never really able to capitalize on the combined synergy of getting all of these things going simultaneously, which is really what it takes for combustion to happen so that you explode into this really dynamic career path. And if you're missing one or more of these, then either you're moving slower than you should be, or you might not be moving at all. So let's talk about those. The first one is the mental aspect of voiceover. And after working with the many people that I have in coaching and in just talking to other voiceover talent, I've come to realize that information and training alone is not enough. I wish it were. It would make all of our jobs a lot easier if that was the case. But the reality is, when you are moving into a career like voiceover, there are a couple of things. Number one, it's an entrepreneurial endeavor. It's a business endeavor, which requires a certain kind of mindset. It's different than working for somebody else. It really requires a lot of self-responsibility that most of us are not forced to take in our life when we work for somebody else. So it can be, emotionally, it can be a bit of a shift. And having the right frame of mind, having the right lens to look through, the right attitude is absolutely crucial. But beyond that, as performers and creative types, we tend to have an extra need, and that is the feedback and approval of others. It's just built into our nature as performers. So being able to manage these needs and these requirements with the requirements and demands of actually building a business, it's not to be underestimated. It's really a big deal. So having your mental attitude right and understanding on a daily basis what it takes to move things forward and not allow the 5 inches between your ears to get in your way. So that's the first component. The second component is the technical aspect. Not only do we have to have great sounding audio, we've got to learn how to create great sounding audio. And that's where the rub comes for many of us who are not engineers by background. I mean, for many, it's just a bit of a challenge to get to operate or function with a computer. Then you add into it audio equipment. What equipment do I utilize? How do I set it up? How do I deal, when recording in my house with noise? And what does acoustic treatment mean? What does soundproofing mean? How can I get that to work for me? And oftentimes, how can I do it affordably? So that is another component of a successful dynamic voiceover career, is getting that technical aspect correct. The third is the performance aspect. A lot of people, when they get into voiceover, I would dare say most, really are thinking about the voice. Okay, I've got a voice. I love to speak. People have told me all my life I sound great, which is wonderful. But once you pursue this as a business and as a career, what you'll find in voiceover is that people are not lined up to hire you. They aren't. There's a lot of people and a growing market and demand for voiceover. That's true. But there's also a growing market of voiceover talent, and most of which really don't understand these 5 components and therefore aren't successful. But there are a number that are and who are growing, and it can be competitive. Unless you really know, what you're doing. And the performance aspect is a big part of it, but it's not all of it. It's only one aspect of it, but you must know what to do when you get behind a microphone. And depending on what the script is, what the demands are you doing a pharmaceutical project? Are you doing safety training? Are you doing a commercial? And if so, what kind of commercial? Are you doing it for a hospital? Are you doing it for a local car dealership? Are you doing it at a national level and you're doing more brand building and awareness? Are you doing promos? And all of these things have their own specific requirements. So the performance component is another important aspect of the 5 components of a dynamic voiceover career. The next thing, and my favorite, is marketing. And I'm just a marketing guy, by trade, by background. And you can have, and I'm sure you realize this, but sometimes we forget about it in our excitement to be voiceover talent, voiceover artists, voice actors. And that is, we have to create a demand for our product. You can have a great product. And I have coached many talent over the years who are world-class talent who don't get a lot of work. And the reason is because they don't understand how to get themselves in front of the right people at the right time and how to close that deal. And that's what marketing and the business aspect of voiceover is all about. You must understand that as well. That's the fourth and very important component of your voiceover career. And the fifth and final component, I believe, is having mentoring and coaching. Because having knowledge dumped on you, and essentially that's what we do here on YouTube, and I think it's helpful, or I wouldn't spend the time to do it, and I don't think you would spend the time to watch and listen. But I'm sure you realize that listening to information will only get you so far. You really need somebody who has done this before, who can explain, who can listen, who can give feedback, who can give you direction. And that's often the missing component for a lot of people in building a really, truly dynamic and successful voiceover career. So again, those 5 components, there's the mental aspect, there's the technical aspect, there's the performance, there's the marketing, and finally, there's the live component, the coaching and the mentoring from somebody who is successful, who has done it before. And you may be watching this video, and for you may have all of those 5 components together, and you're firing on all cylinders. Things are going gangbusters, and you've got a growing, dynamic career. And to you, I say, way to go. I celebrate with you. Congratulations. But I know for a fact the vast majority, and perhaps you, are either thinking, dreaming about this and wanting to make sure you do the right things to make it happen, or you've decided to step into those waters, and you're finding that you feel lost, you feel confused, you feel stifled, you've stalled out, you don't know what you don't know, and you can't figure out why you can't get things to move forward. And so I just want to briefly point you in the direction of a resource that I've worked on. I've put a lot of work into this in creating a complete, comprehensive program that covers every aspect of what I've just talked about. The mental aspect, the technical aspect, the performance and the marketing, as well as the live coaching and mentoring aspect. And that's called my Voiceover Blueprint. And what I want to invite, and I'm getting ready to introduce the brand new revised Blueprint 2.0. And what I would encourage you to do, and I'll put the link below in the description, and the URL is BillDeweeseLive.com. If it sounds like something that you might want to check out, find out more about, just go. There's like a 30 to 40. Actually, it's longer than 30. It's, I think, actually closer to an hour now that I think about it, where I explain the important components of a voiceover career, but I also give the specifics of the program so that you can learn more about it. And it's a university, a graduate level education in having a voiceover career. There are many careers that if you want to get into, you would not think about even attempting to do that unless you went to school, unless you went to college, perhaps even graduate school and got a graduate degree or 2. In voiceover, far too many approach it unprepared. And the purpose of the blueprint is to give you the information, the knowledge, the tools, and the mentoring and coaching to make sure you succeed. One of the exciting things about this particular program is a live weekly coaching component where we get together as a group. I direct reads, I answer questions and give feedback, talk about issues, etc. But something I think is even more exciting than that is that there's a live, or not live, I'm sorry. Well, it is live, but it's a private Facebook group where you are able to not only communicate with and get support from the members, of which I'm a part of, obviously, and I'm moderate and give feedback, et cetera, but I actually stream live from my studio every day. When I'm not making YouTube videos, I'm actually working. I record a lot of voiceover projects. It could be 5, 6, 7, 8 a day. And what I do is I turn on the webcam, the audio's on, and the members of my Blueprint program are able to be part of this private group and to watch and listen and learn as I deal with clients, as I interact with clients, as I write proposals, as I market myself, as I audition, as I record projects, as I edit projects. Every aspect of it's all kind of, I guess it's my own reality TV show for the purpose of showing you. Again, telling is great and it's important, but being able to show you and demonstrate is equally, if not more important. And the Blueprint is the only program that I'm aware of that is this total comprehensive package to give you everything you need, including that important support component to help you not only to succeed, but to thrive. And there's no reason that you shouldn't thrive as a voiceover talent if you have the right tools. So take a few minutes right now to check it out. Just simply go to BillDeweeseLive.com.